Hi, everyone. I'm just going to give another minute or so to let some more people join, and then we will get started. I hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. It is gorgeous outside today. It sure is. Hi, Small Biz Philly.
You're here.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. All right, and we can get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Carmen, and back in our swagger. And I am the training coordinator at the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple SBDC helps small businesses start and grow. We provide free one-on-one counseling and a variety of low to no cost webinars. And we are proud to be a part of the nationally accredited network of SBDCs with over 1,000 centers across the United States. You have joined us this afternoon for WordPress builders, choosing and using a website builder. A copy of today's PowerPoint and a link to the recording of this webinar will be sent out to all attendees. And while all attendees have been muted, we encourage you to post any questions in the chat or Q&A. And now I will turn the floor over to Jane.
Hi again, guys. Nice to see some familiar faces. So today we're going to be learning about WordPress builders and how to choose one. So I'm Jane Clark. I'm the co-founder and creative director of BrandSwan. I've been designing websites since the 90s, over 19 years of experience at this point. So that's cool. The web has definitely changed a lot since then. A little bit about BrandSwan. We help small businesses, nonprofits, entrepreneurs break away from the flock through beautiful brands, savvy websites, and marketing that matters. And that's my co-founder, Jen, over there on the left. So today we're going to talk about three main things. The first one is the difference between themes and builders and where to get them. We're going to compare the most popular ones, and I'm going to show you a demo of the Divi builder. And I also have a couple surprises for you because I found some demos of the others. So once you get this presentation, you'll be able to follow those links and play around until you find one that works for you. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is the difference between themes and builders. So a WordPress theme is basically a collection of files that work together to create how your website looks and behaves. So think about colors, fonts, layouts, animations, scrolling effects, things like page transitions. All of that is really controlled by the theme. And themes usually, I can't think of one that does off the top of my head, allows you some customization options so you can change those things. A builder allows you to design how a page looks within the confines of that theme. Sometimes the builder can overwrite the theme design, but it really depends on how it was built. So let's start comparing the builders because there's a lot of them out there. There's probably some I haven't even heard of, but let's talk about what we're going to consider when I kind of rate these. So the first one is price. And typically there's a yearly cost, even when packaged with the theme. So maybe you bought a theme from ThemeForest, it's great, it comes with all these plugins, and typically they are available to you for a year, and then they ask you to sign up again. So a lot of people kind of forego this, but I don't think you should, because what you get from that is when WordPress updates, the theme updates, the plugins update, so everything stays in sync and updated, and you're not going to have any weird security vulnerabilities. So when you're thinking about a price per year, definitely make sure that you're paying that every year so that you continue to get the updates. Plus, a lot of these builders are frequently updated, so you're going to get new features all the time. The second one is ease of use. So how intuitive is the user interface, and can it build great looking web pages? Number 3 is modules and features. What widgets can you add to your pages? Think about these as counters, galleries, accordion menus, toggles, and so much more. Number 4, online support and documentation. So how easy is it to get support? How easy is it to get your questions answered, and can we even contact support over the phone? Number 5 is what we call lock-in. So let's say you go all in on this theme, all in on this builder, and then you decide you don't want the builder anymore and you want to change your theme. A lot of these builders leave behind kind of garbage shortcode, and your websites aren't going to look right when you disable that builder. So although you will lose this custom styling, you're going to have what we call unclean code to kind of go back and fix. So just keep that in mind when you're building your website. Number 6 is the resource use, site speed. This one's a little hard to gauge because you have the performance of the builder, but then you also have other areas that factor in, such as your server, your space, your memory, and how all that kind of plays into how fast your website is. And last but not least, we're going to talk about active installs. How popular are the builders? How many sites are using them? So tell me in chat, guys, what builder are you thinking of using or are in the middle of using? What builder are you using or thinking of using? I'm going to see if it's on the list on the next slide. Let's go ahead and pop it in the chat. What builder are you using or thinking of using? Yes, Philly. Okay. Elizabeth, I will say that this is going to focus on WordPress builders only today, but there are other webinars regarding the different platforms that you might want to check out. Elementor, okay. All right. Okay. Most popular WordPress builders. And don't worry, guys, you're going to get a copy of this so you can kind of take your own look. Very good, guys. I'm relieved that you're all using really highly rated builders, so you're already ahead of the game. I'm going to be honest with you, during this entire presentation, I am biased towards Divi. I've used most of these builders, and I have found that after using Divi, I just prefer the user interface. If you haven't had a good experience with Divi and you want to look at something different, I would recommend these 3. But just do know this is skewed for my personal bias because I can teach you a lot more about Divi. So at the top, we have prices. We have $89 per year for Divi or $250 for lifetime. Now with Divi is sort of an interesting module because Divi you can get under your Elegant Theme subscription, and that's $89 per year. Not only do you get Divi, the Divi theme and the Divi builder, but you get a lot of other stuff for your money as well. But if you don't want to worry about Elegant Themes and you just want Divi for life, you can pay that $250 lifetime fee. So the ease of use for Divi, I think, is fantastic. It's great for advanced, beginners, whatever, moderate users. It has so many features. It has a great online documentation, video tutorials. The lock-in, I'm going to be real, it's not great. If you were to go all in, build your site with Divi and then undo it, your pages are going to look a disaster, with the exception of maybe like aspects of your site that you didn't use the Divi builder for, maybe like the blog pages. What's cool is that Divi builder comes also with a Divi theme, and it has over 200 pre-made designs, many integrations, it's always updating. And so you can really start a website really fast from a pre-made layout and then customize it for your own. I typically use a Divi builder with a Divi theme because it just makes it that much more powerful, and there's lots of integrations for it. However, you can use a Divi builder on other themes. However, I will say that, for example, when we tried to implement that into an Elementor-based theme, it didn't want to play nice. So it's not always going to work. Welcome to my life. And Divi has 2.5 million active installs, which is a lot. Elementor, a little bit less expensive, and $40 a year. And I will say, guys, that Elementor does have a free version, but I find that you're going to want to do stuff that the free version can't do, and it's going to be annoying, and you're going to want to pull your hair out, and I think it's going to taint your experience with the builder. So just go all in, pay the $40 a year to have everything you can do, and I think you're going to be much happier. I found it a little cumbersome to use, but it might be just because I've used Divi for so long. I didn't like some of the lack of options in where they, well, in the interface itself, but it is a highly rated plugin. Lots of people use it. It has a lot of modules and features. It has a lot of online support and documentation. The lock-in is wonderful. So let's say you use Elementor and you no longer want to use it and you undo it. It's not going to spit out all this unclean code. It's going to not have like these short codes. So that is a plus side. And it's much faster than Divi. So I skipped over one of the most important parts I wanted to talk about. And that's the resources versus and the site speed, right? The one hit on Divi is that, and it's actually gotten better over the year, I think, is that it is a resource hog. It is slow. If you're on a GoDaddy server, it's just you're gonna want to pull your hair out. So if you're going to use Divi, make sure that you're on a top server, a top host, and I will show you those examples that you can use just so you know. If you're finding that it's slow, it's not responding, things are being weird, it's usually because you're running out of server resources. So keeping that in mind. And Divi does have preferred hosting companies that it wants you to run for its application. So you can check out that documentation. Moving back to Elementor, it's much faster than Divi. And it also has a theme and page builder similar to Divi. So you have the Divi theme, then you have the Divi page builder similar to Elementor. So moving over to WP Bakery Page Builder, which is kind of a tongue twister. I honestly preferred Visual Composer. Yeah, so WP Bakery was previously called Visual Composer, but they recently split off from each other. It's $64 a year. It's pretty easy to use. It doesn't have as many modules and features as Divi and Elementor. It does have a lot of documentation. The lock-in isn't great, similar to Divi. It's gonna spit out some stuff. It's quite fast, and it's packaged with so many themes. So it's used a lot. And so, yeah, if you're on ThemeForest, for example, it's probably gonna come with WP Bakery, and you're probably gonna wanna use it. And I wanna talk about that in a little bit. Last but not least, we have Beaver Builder. I just love that Beaver Builder. It's easy to use. It doesn't have as many features as the others. The documentation is fine. The lock-in, again, like Elementor, is great if you want to uninstall it. It's not going to, it's not going to have all this crap left over. And it is quite fast. And it has, over 200,000 installs. I think that number is probably closer to 1 million by now. I'm not entirely sure. I had trouble finding that number, but it is considered one of the best. So there are others outside of this. I'm not saying they're not good, but I will tell you, if you're using one of these 4, chances are, if you need help, a developer is going to be able to help you with these 4. They're going to at least have some familiarity. Any questions so far, guys, as I dump on you the wisdom of themes versus builders and the top ones? And again, if you have any question at any point, just go and drop it in the chat. And I will take a look when it makes sense. All right. So the next thing is how to pick. How do you pick which builder to use? And my number one answer is always, what themes do you like? So let's talk about Divi, my favorite. Shameless. So you can use the Divi theme or the builder alone. You can start designing now, pre-made layouts. It's so good. So pros, there's a massive collection of beautiful pre-made layouts. It's got dynamic content modules. You can change columns on the fly, and the layout's so easy, and it's fantastic for a lot of levels of skill. Now, again, the con needs a fast server, and it can't be purchased separately from the theme. So the cool thing is, and I'm going to go over this later, but I want you guys to know that there is a demo I'm going to show you. So hang tight for that. I'm going to save that to the end. Elementor. Okay. Now this one I could not find a demo for, actually. So it does have an easy use drag and drop interface like Divi. They do have some templates to work with. you can customize the theme if you have the pro version, and it does have great video guidelines. It doesn't have as many, presets as Divi does, and it is lacking a little of the features found elsewhere, like split testing, for example. Jacqueline, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's you. Hopefully other people can chime in. Yes, so the difference between a theme and a builder. A theme is a collection of files that you install into WordPress that dictate how your website looks overall. The global fonts, the colors, the animations, how the menu works, things like that. And then the builder is kind of designing the pages within the confines of that theme. Yeah, it's only one com bullet. I ran out of space, guys, for this one, so. All right, Beaver Builder, super speedy. It's very easy to use, not as many options, but I also have a demo here for you guys. So when you get this, you can actually check it out. Now, I gave you a lot of resources here so that you could definitely go through and see which ones are most important to you. What are your must-haves? So step one, what are your must-haves when you're building a website? And then work backwards from there. So the cool thing about this demo Okay. So yeah, so you're not going to get your work saved here. So, don't get crazy. Also, they do have tours, which is really cool. But you can actually get in here and start editing. So all I did was start clicking and then typing. So that's how easy it is to do a builder nowadays. And I would say this is sort of the premier experience. If you can't start clicking and typing, which is very similar to how Divi operates. And the cool thing is, you can delete it, you can delete things, you can duplicate things, you can change the column width. It kind of depends on the layout itself. Here we go. Column settings. You can select colors, background colors. It can get pretty crazy. If you're new to this, I would definitely start with a pre-made layout and then customize from here. And just start with your homepage. But yes, so you can change all the backgrounds. It's pretty great. So what I would do is definitely try all these demos and see which one you like. Now, if you're looking at a theme, by the way, and you don't like any of the websites that's built with it, chances are you're not going to like the website it builds for you. So just keep that in mind again when you're choosing which builder to use. Typically, their websites are built with their own builders. So yeah, you can kind of take a look at their site, and if you love it, then you're in the right track here. So, and again, I mean, these builders are big deals. Lots of people are using them. It's pretty good. And here is a more thorough review. I also include what makes Beaver a little bit different from Elementor. So you can really sit down with those. But yeah, so this is how they grade them. And it has great screenshots. And so this is really great. Here's what it looks like when you're editing the view. Here's how you add modules, and look at all the options. You can add audio, you can add buttons, text boxes, icons, slideshows, even a Google map, testimonials, call to action. So this is this is pretty good. All right, let's move on to the next one. WP Bakery. All right, so what's so great about this is that there's a huge community who use this page builder, and it is pretty good. I've used it. It's one of the first builders I think out there that really went mainstream rather quickly. But yes, it's packaged with lots of themes, and that's why it's so popular. The styling is a bit limited. And again, it will leave behind a bunch of short codes if you just decide not to use it anymore. And you pretty much just have to rebuild the site. Any questions so far on these these four? We got Divi, we have Elementor, Beaver Builder, and WP Bakery. The WP Bakery, I've also gone ahead and sent you a link. If you just type in your name, your email, and it will generate a site for you and you can start getting in there. Elementor, again, doesn't have a demo, but check out this. So this is the pricing here. Now, if you just have one site and you're not like a developer, then using the Essential is just fine, and that's $50 a year. So you can take a look at everything you get for the pro version, for the free version. I really wouldn't do the free version because you're going to be really disappointed about what they choose to make a premium. You know, it could be something so simple and you're like, why? For example, Elementor makes you pay for global elements. So let's say you have a module where you have, let's say, your contact information. You can then take that module and put it on all the pages you want to put it on, but you only have to edit it in one place and it will automatically update it in all the places this module exists, which is amazing, right? So they'll make you pay for that kind of stuff. So just upgrade, do yourself a favor, and go for the pro version. Okay. But yeah, I mean, this site looks great. And you'll notice that each builder has a certain style I think it envisioned when it made the builder. So again, I would lean towards what kind of gets you excited, what makes you go ooh and ah, and then proceed from there. But yeah, there's just so much you can do with these builders. And I'm really excited to show you what that's going to look like. I lost my place. Let's go back here. I'm spoiling it. All right. All right, so let's talk about picking the right host. And this is mostly for Divi and anything that's resource intensive. So pick one of these, you'll be good to go. For those of you on GoDaddy, if you're using like their builder, that's a different thing. But if you're doing like their managed WordPress and you're finding that you can't, the website's really slow, you just have to be aware of that. Okay, so which comes first, the theme or the builder? So what I would do is I would have a list of things, the features that I want more than anything, and pick the builder and theme that excels at that. So here's where to find themes. Now, I'm going to start with Divi here. Divi has a beautiful, gosh, they have so much. This is where they started years ago. So you'll notice that these designs are just a little, I mean, they're nice, but they're not exactly wowing anybody, right? But as you get into the later ones, I'm going to scroll all the way down here. I'm going to keep going. So you can see how all the themes that they have. Let me try to find ones I know animates pretty well. Yeah, we're talking over 200, probably more at this point. Who's counting? Let me go to this one. Okay. So this is a live demo. So this is exactly what the site would look like if you were to import this layout into your host. So notice you just saw like the counters go. This one doesn't have as much animation. Look at just beautiful big fonts when they make sense. You know, it just, they really are pretty gorgeous. And they're so versatile that, you know, if you just change your, add your brand on top of this and maybe even combine different layouts, you're going to have something that feels really unique to you. So that's a great thing. It's like Divi is made up of a bunch of modules and you can Frankenstein these things together so that you just have this beautiful result. Let me scroll down a bit more and try to find one of their newer ones that are just a bit more like, ooh. There's a lot of ones I haven't even seen yet. So tired of scrolling. Let's try this one. View live demo. All right, so this one's cool. And the cool thing is that you can download the images and change them and then re-upload them so that, you know, you can change this graphic to be green if you wanted. There's lots, yeah, so we got more counters. They love the counters. Got that going on. And here you can see the different pages and the different layouts. You don't have to use their homepage for your homepage. You can, yeah, just take what you need. It's really about the modules and the content. You know, you want to design around the content and not the other way around. But I would pick the very first thing you see on a website is what you want that person to do, whether it's make a consultation with you, either to buy something, you know, whatever you want them to do in a perfect scenario, that's really what you want the above the fold to kind of look like, right? If you really want impressive pricing tables, you know, pick a theme that kind of does that for you. And there's lots of great ones. And one little trick I like to say is that if you are a scooter company, don't pick a scooter theme. Look at it. I mean, look at a different theme outside your industry, because the chances of you having a different theme than other people in the industry will be much less, right? Patricia, looking back at your question, you say, did you just say you can pick pages from different layout and packages, or did I misunderstand that Frankenstein comment? No, you understood it perfectly. Sometimes I might have my designer, Emily, load in 4 different designs, pick and choose which models that we want to use, delete the rest, and then customize that into a whole new layout. That's what's so great about it. As you can see, I'm rather excited about web design. But yes. You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and use you guys must be so tired of seeing the BrandSwan website. I apologize, but I know like what's on it I can show you. So all this is Divi. So the animation that just happened, Divi. The fades in, Divi. The buttons, we kind of custom coded this. But this is the Divi website, and sometimes it's hard to tell because of how much we customized it. Who here can tell when they see a Divi website, right? There's some telltale signs of that. You know, it might be the footer, it might be just a simple navigation, it might be the line underneath the menu. But after a while, you're going to be like, wow, a lot of people are using Divi, and you want to make sure that your site just looks a little bit better than theirs. But I do have a competitive spirit, but collaborative, but also competitive. Let's go look at some other layouts here. There's just some really great ones. Let me pick this one. Let's see. Again, just by using an image in the background, you can make it look completely different. They do have an entire library of icons you can use, modules, different columns. Again, you can do right on the fly. We'll talk more about what you can do with Divi at the end, but I just wanted you to see the different layouts that are available. Now, let's say you have your heart set on just a different style, because let's be honest, Divi does have these modern modules that have a certain feel to them. But remember, you can use custom web fonts now, guys. So Divi comes with a Google integration, so you can pick from all of Google's free fonts to really just make your website just unique. And that's really neat. Okay, let's talk about Theme Forest. Theme Forest is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. When I found out this existed, it was like Christmas for me. I want to give you a quick word of warning. A lot of alliterations today, guys. Is that if you're using something from Theme Forest, make sure that you have your site secure first, because these things are so popular that there's just bots that automatically just find these scripts and find vulnerabilities so they can hack your site and insert malware. So just make sure that you have WordFence. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat real fast. Make sure you have like WordFence, Loginizer, WP URL hide. Make sure that you have those, well, at one or a couple of those installed before you go to town. Yeah, just so you're protected. Okay. I am going to take a quick question from Small Biz Philly. Hi again, friend. He asked, what's the advantage of using a CMS have over hand coding a website in HTML? That's a big question, I will say. And like you and I know the difference, right? So we kind of know that like an HTML site is going to be very simple, about as simple as we need it to be. It's not going to be fully pre-loaded and preset with all these potential things that we could use, but we're not using. So one of the benefits of an HTML site is it's going to be clean, it's going to be fast. It's not going to have as many vulnerabilities. Oh, 1 second, I pasted this in the wrong section. All right, there we go. I sent that to myself, not helpful. But the client can't go in there and edit the HTML. You know, that's not their skill set. That's why they hire us, right? So a CMS, one has more integrations that are more at your fingertips. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to code anything in PHP. You don't have to make a form in PHP and set up PHP mailer, you know. All this stuff is plug and play and allows non-coders to use it. So you get the advantage of accessibility, you get the advantage of coolness. I used to be anti-CMS in my day. I might have still been designing with tables at that point, right before the CSS. CSS2 was really popular, and Firefox, not Firefox, but Microsoft Internet Explorer wasn't quite where it needed to be to use that. But yay, we're all here now, and it just allows us to do some really cool stuff. It's a good question. All right, let's talk about theme forest. So the theme forest, now you can choose to search by builder. So here under web themes and templates, you have WordPress, which is just going to look at all WordPress themes regardless of what builder it comes with. Now, I will say not all themes come with a builder, but because builders are so popular now, I would be surprised if one didn't. But you can have a theme without a builder because WordPress has its own builder called blocks now. So you don't have to have a builder, but I think it gives you way more cool stuff to do. All right. You can choose by Elementor, the builder. You can choose just HTML templates, but we're not here for that. You can also do a search for these other ones. So let's say you want a Joomla site. You can find themes for that. You can find an e-commerce theme. So if yours is a store first, then you might want to pick an e-commerce centered theme because that's going to highlight your products over your services, right? It's going to give you some cool options you can do. And just real quick, WooCommerce is a really great plugin for WordPress if you're going to do e-commerce. And this stuff I don't think you need to worry about. So you can search by WordPress. And let's do that because we're going to have a lot of cool stuff. Now let's do female owned. Why? Because that's going to have a certain look to it, right? So first scrolling down here, you can see that these websites are very simple, very modern, very clean. This one's a little bit on the dark side. So all of these have a little bit of a style. Let's say we want to look for influencer. This is giving us way more options, 70 different themes we can pick from. Now, influencers are going to be solopreneurs, people-centered, what that looks like here. Big old picture. Again, this would be you probably instead of this person. Yes, now let's look for a different type of theme. Let's type in corporate. Corporate, we're going to get some really fun ones, right? We got some modern ones. This one has some big colors on it. Well, let me go ahead and click on this one. This one has a lot of variety. It's a little boring, but whatever. So this one costs $69 to download. Now, yes, you don't have to renew this price, but just assume you're going to have to. I can't imagine you would, because your website's going to break and you're going to be like, wow, I'm so sad about it. And then you're going to update and it's going to be fixed. And you're going to wish you paid $70. So trust me on that one. Scrolling down here, it shows you some highlights, but guess what? On this right-hand side, it's going to show you some of its compatibilities. So Gutenberg optimized. What that means is you can use a new WordPress builder. It is high resolution, which means, you know, monitors 4K, it'll look good on those. Compatible browser, you would hope so, but sometimes you do have to check. Software compatibility, what version of WordPress it works with. Let's see. I'm trying to see if it has a builder attached to it. 1 second. I'm gonna scroll down here and see. Usually it tells you what builder is. General. Hold on. Okay. Okay, yeah. So this one utilizes WordPress Customizer, which means you don't need any. Oh, here we go. Builder, bold builder. So here's another builder that's available. And I'm sure you can find a demo to see if you even like it. So that's what I would do. Find themes you love the look of, see what builder powers it, and then kind of find more options if you're like, I don't know about this bold builder thing. You have to do a lot of research, but make sure that when you pick a theme that you're getting ones that are super highly rated and have more than like 10 people. You know, this one, because it was on the first page of this, I'm sure it has lots of reviews. Let me try to find it. Here we go. Oh, it only has 12. Look at that. But it's highly rated 5 stars. So I would actually look elsewhere for this one. I'd be like, only 12 people. Let me take a look. Let's go to creative. Let's see what the creative one is. And again, if you're in a different industry, it's worth checking outside your industry so that you can have a bit more of a different presence and be more unique. Let's see here. Unicode. I think this one's a really popular one. Yeah, this one has 3,000 ratings, 4.89, practically perfect, $60 a year, and it's compatible with WP Bakery Page Builder. So this is a page builder that's really popular with ThemeForest. ThemeForest has a lot of really cool stuff. Just guys, don't forget to install those extra security measures because those bots are going to be coming after you, especially if you rank really well in SEO. So don't forget that piece. All right, last but not least, and again, there are so many other places you can get theme guides, but these are my favorites. I love when we get interns in because they usually teach me stuff I don't know yet. So maybe next time we talk, I'll know more. Creative Market, this is one I also trust. Let me close that. They have a lot of great templates, and they kind of work the same way. You can also search by theme. So a lot of the themes require certain builders in order to meet its full potential. Once you start mixing and matching builders on a theme that wasn't invented with that builder, you're going to run into some issues. So in a perfect world, you would pick a theme and use the builder that comes with that theme because it's been built around it, basically. All right, cool. And yes, please test drive all your themes before you view them. And also, here's a tip that I didn't write down, I should have. The tip is, get your post-it notes, this is a good one. Look at the demo theme on your monitor, on your tablet, on your phone. Make sure it's already looking great responsively, so that way you don't build this beautiful website on your desktop and then look on your phone and be like, it's terrible. So test drive it thoroughly on different computers, different devices, just to make sure that it's solid before you go all in on it. Okay, I kind of spoiled this tip, guys. Make sure themes are highly rated and haven't been abandoned. So if they hasn't been updated in a couple of years, don't buy that one. They probably moved on to a cooler project and they just want to let it go. And definitely expect to pay the theme price every year. So sometimes the themes will automatically include a plugin price for the year. Like let's say you have a slideshow premium. You'll have to resubscribe every year. So just kind of keep that in mind. Any questions so far, guys, before we move into the demo part of this? I'm gonna keep pounding some monster here while you do. I gotta take my cat to the vet later, so I'm preparing for a war. All right, I'm gonna come back to questions. If you have any, I'll pop in. Okay, so I'm really excited for this one because, well, this is the theme I know the best. And there's some really cool stuff. So the link here goes right to Divi's online demo, and they give you a great looking theme right off the bat. And I'm going to kind of show you what this looks like. So as you hover over elements, you're going to see a variety of different colors. You see that, guys? Lots of fun colors here. So the big blue box, when you hover over it here, top left of the screen, that is your row. Think of it just like a section, okay? It holds full width backgrounds and it holds all the elements inside of it. So if I wanted to change the background of this, I would click on the cogwheel and it would open up a cool box. Now you can put this box wherever you'd like. I have a very large monitor, so there are sometimes where I dock it on the left, but you can also pop it out so it's really big. So if you click on background, you're going to see some options here. Now this says there is no background. If I click here, there it is. So it has a gradient here. And then it also has some background elements. So this is where I would come to change the background out. The X means cancel, this means undo, this means redo, and this means accept. So now you have what we call the teal box, and this box is what I call the container or the row. So this keeps everything contained in a nice, alignment so that you don't have your content edge to edge on your monitor, right? So it kind of keeps it nice and centered and within the contains of the site. Then you have your fun gray boxes, and these are the modules themselves. So similar to Beaver Builder, I can just start typing right away and it will make it happen. If I want more options, I can hover over it. And again, if you don't get that gray box because you're like in the middle, you can just click someplace else and come back in and you'll get it. So here, if we edit the settings, you can see this is where everything happens. Here's the background. Now notice that these are all grayed out, which means that the background isn't actually in here. We saw those in the row. But you can make stuff all sorts of colors. Here's the text. Go ahead and hit OK. The buttons, you can completely change what the buttons look like. Link to them, the designs of them. And the cool thing is like you can use custom styles or you can use a default style and save it as a preset. So this is what the default style looks like. And if I wanted to do the custom style again, it would keep that for you. Ta-da! Very cool stuff. Definitely comes with icons. You can also add a contact form as well. Very easy. All you gotta do is hit the plus button wherever you see a gray module. Now this module thing is all the cool stuff you can do in Divi. You have accordion menus. You can put in like audio snippets, bar counters. It's like little graphs here, which is really cool. Countdown timers. When this website's gonna launch, what does that look like? You can do email opt-ins. You can do big images. You can do a portfolio, number counters, staff, video sliders, testimonials, so much. Now, can you believe that this site and this site are made with the same theme? This site and this site made with the same theme. So that's why I really push Divi theme and builders, because you can just make whatever you want. So that lock-in isn't going to mean as much, because if you can use Divi for all sorts of different things, you're not going to need to change your theme to a different theme. Elizabeth White has asked, so you always have to pay for the theme and builder separate? Maybe not up front because you buy the theme price and then it's sort of included for the first year, but ultimately, yes, unless the theme has its own builder. Sometimes themes have add-ons you have to buy as well. So yes, definitely expect to pay that separately. Okay. If you buy Divi forever, are you getting both forever? That's a good question. Let's find out. Let me find out here. Oh, geez. I only know what it looks like from the outside. Plans and pricing. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the lifetime access gives you a lifetime subscription of Elegant Themes, which means that that will give you Divi theme and builder for life, as well as a variety of other things. So yes. Now I know. Taking a look at this backend builder, this is really cool. This is just an animation. So if I were to click on here, I know you saw that do a cool like loop, but down here under design, you're going to see an animation section. And this is what controls all the cool stuff that happens on the site. Under advanced, you have scroll effects. And so this is what powers the vertical animation that's happening here. You could do a horizontal one. And now as you move around, you see the feather kind of flying. That's actually cooler than what I have, maybe. You can add a fading in and out look too. This one, it's going to be more, yeah, so you can kind of see that it fades once you scroll past it. No problem, Patricia. That other stuff was, so Elegant Themes, your subscription comes with like a social media share tool, a Bloom, which is like an email, makes the email newsletter opt-ins look so beautiful. So just take a look and see what other plugins you'd like to add to your WordPress. Just what you need. You don't have to go crazy with it. But yeah, the fade in is pretty cool. You have the scaling one. This one's a little crazy. Sometimes it gets smaller or bigger. Let me dock this so you can see a bit more. Oh, it's the wrong one. So you can see really what these things are doing here. You have your rotating. Yeah, you can kind of see it fly in. These are cool. I mean, I liked ours before, but I'd never seen it do this. Now I'm gonna, next time you see the site guys, it's gonna be circus, I guess. Yeah, don't get too crazy. You don't want to do anything tacky. You know, you don't want anything spinning in counterclockwise, you know, or flipping. This is the blur. The blur one's pretty cool. See how it kind of blurs out here. So these really just make it really fun. And you can change the starting and the ending of it to really create just some cool effects. You can also decide when it triggers the element. So when it says motion effect, top of element, middle of element, or bottom of element, what that means is the viewport. The viewport is basically what your monitor is showing you at that moment. And if you choose the top of the element, then as soon as you, and that's why nothing really happens until you scroll down a bit. If it was set to the bottom of the element, you're going to see that it doesn't blur for a little while longer. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to hit the X and undo all that stuff I did, or my team's going to be mad at me. Another cool thing Divi can do is, notice that I have 3 bars here, but if I actually look at my website, only one of them is showing. So on the fly, you can actually show and hide things. This is really great if, let's say, you have an animation that you want to use the desktop, but you want to disable it for mobile because it's so, well, you know, resource intensive. So you just come here, choose your settings, come to advanced, visibility, and then you can choose what you want to disable it on. Notice I have it all disabled because I didn't want to show that at all. But when the nominations are open next year, then I can re-show that and my job is done. So all in all, you can do a lot with these builders. And with Divi, you can start from a pre-made layout. Really cool. We have a couple more minutes. I'm just going to show you that. Again, if you guys have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I will get to them when it makes sense. But I can make a new page. I'm going to discard all those crazy changes I made. I'm going to put test here. I'm going to use the Divi Builder. And now it's going to ask me something. It's going to say, well, oh wait, okay. So Divi also has a backend editor, but most people choose not to use it because if you can use a front end editor, why not? So we can clone an existing page that we already have. We can start from, you very rarely build from scratch. Philly, I have a feeling that you might though. You seem like that kind of guy. But if you choose from a pre-made layout, you can start with something you like. So let's say you really love the way this theme moves. Maybe you really like the different layout options. You can just go ahead and pick one. Just want to pick one that's a bit cooler than the others, but I'll just pick this one. I'm going to use this layout, and notice that you can have so many different layouts and you can load any of these in, all of these in at once, whatever. I'll go ahead and use this one, use this layout. It's going to load it in. Theoretically, this should work. Every now and then there's like one template that's being updated. Watch this be the one. It hates me. All right, we're back. So if we load in an element, I'm actually going to add it to this page. So you can add one right from here. You don't have to make a new page to get there. Oh, great. I think I broke my browser, guys. I might have too many open. It's possible I have too many open. Let me close all the other stuff. I think I had like 4 builders and my my browser might be losing it. All right, let's do this one. Add a layout. Just gonna pick this one. Use this layout. Okay. Yeah, my browser was choking there. Okay, so now if we scroll down, you're going to see that it's completely loaded this new layout into the site. And you can drag and drop things around. So let's say you want the blog over here, you can just move it up. You can delete sections. I don't want that one. One of the more exciting features I think of Divi sites is just how easy you can change the column width. So here you see there's a column icon, you click on it, and you can even do a 6 width column here, guys. On the fly, you can change it to a variety of different layouts, and that's the part I love the most. Definitely. All right, we have time for, I guess, maybe 1 or 2 questions, maybe. Feel free to schedule a call with me, guys, if you want me to walk you through anything. Here's some references and links for you that I've mentioned in the presentation, and feel free to join our Facebook group if you want more help.
Thank you so much, Jane. As we have a final minute here, I posted a link in the chat. It's to a survey that takes less than a minute to complete, and it is required by our funders so that we can continue to offer these workshops to you guys. So if everyone could take a minute and just fill that out, my team would be super appreciative. And I will give another minute or so for questions, but right now we're looking pretty good.
Yeah. I always end these things barely on time.
I know, but we're good. We're good today.
Yeah, so I guess, guys, don't be afraid to get out there and try things. Yeah, try all the demos, try all the things, and find websites that make you happy, and then go for it.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Jane. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.